now that we're all here. And so this is the meeting, the Board of Health meeting of July 17th, and it's been a long time since we've had a meeting. We are all here. We have all 5 of us. And to get the first order of business out of the way, I think we had a meeting last time, the first week in June. Am I right about that? Like June 4th or something, and that was the last one we had, because then there was June 19th, which was a holiday, and we skipped July 3rd. So I am looking for approval of the minutes of June 4th.
I'm sure I've read them. Can I remember them?
I can't remember them either, but I'm sure that if anybody had had any objection, they would have voiced it.
Yes.
In the past. So I think that we can take these minutes as written unless anybody objects.
No objection.
No objection.
No. Okay. Do we have things to report? What's new in the Board of Health world? Anything? Garrett's got nothing. Noreen, you got anything?
No, just that we should probably tell the board that the permit for the camp has been issued.
Oh, good. I was going to bring up our earlier conversation, Noreen, but I had not heard that they issued the permit. Okay.
Right. Actually, I was supposed to issue an actual paper permit, and I haven't done that, but they are technically, they are in compliance, and we consider them permitted. And I will.
Great.
I'll check with Megan, and if I have to issue something, I will. I totally blinked on it. I have not been at the top of my game. Perhaps we could, for the purposes of the meeting, because not everybody was involved in this, say that we had some difficulties getting Morse Hill to be in compliance and get a permit. They were closed for a few years. It seems that previous inspections were perhaps somewhat lax. There are new requirements that they had to meet that they were apparently not aware of. And getting them up to speed and ready to go took quite a lot of work on the part of Noreen and Arlene and Sarah and Megan to get them in compliance, which apparently they now are. So I think this has been a learning experience for everybody.
Yeah.
And
yes, definitely.
Interestingly enough, it's not Claudia who did the physical inspection at the camp. It was Megan, accompanied by Sarah. And we were thinking that it would be a good thing if next year, when this inspection happens, if Megan or Sarah would go with Claudia and make sure that Claudia is also up to speed on what needs to be done. Because there was some indication that perhaps he is not.
I agree. And I have to say, I'm a little bit concerned about the, what I understand was essentially some non-responsiveness on Claudia's part to many communications from Victoria at the camp.
You know, Claudia alluded to in an email to getting email addresses straightened out. So it may be that when she switched from whatever email she was using to the one that she has from Irving, that she didn't set her forwarding, and so she wasn't getting the emails that Victoria was sending her.
Okay.
That's my guess. I haven't considered it. I was hoping to have this conversation with her in a district meeting, either in May or June, but those meetings have been put off. So the communication and just closing the loop are going to be on my agenda for the next meeting that we have.
Okay.
Just need closer communication.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry?
What were the compliance issues?
Noreen, Arlene?
Yeah, it had to do with medical director and making sure that all the
Right.
appropriate protocols were in place. Given various scenarios that can happen, example, bee sting, that kind of thing, infectious disease outbreak at the camp. The second one, major one, was they have a canoeing program, and there's a certain number of counselors per student needed to take an approved course that indicates that they are knowledgeable in canoeing before they take children out on the water. Third one was building hasn't been inspected for a while, that needed to be completed. And there were other minor ones, but those were the ones of major concern. That's bad news. The good news is, I think, I certainly learned a lot about the inspection process and all the different categories that they need to be aware of, and things that need to be done. And I believe, I haven't talked to anybody there, I talked to Virginia a couple of times, but I think everybody's learned a lot from this process, and hopefully we'll keep learning when we Claudia into the loop.
Right. And by the way, her name is Victoria, not Virginia.
I'm sorry, Victoria.
yeah.
My bad.
But, as it was described to me, first of all, Victoria had a hard time. She wasn't getting a reply from Claudia, so she was, what am I supposed to do? My camp is about to open. Nobody's coming to do this inspection. And so it was arranged for Megan to do it. And Victoria has had this inspection happen for many years, but she typically has experienced a 15-minute inspection done over. And when Megan came out to do it, it was a 2-hour-long inspection. And it caught Victoria really by surprise. And Megan did say she was very impressed with how Victoria was able to pull together a lot of the stuff that Megan, needed on the spot. She was able to produce most of it, but these couple of things that Noreen has just described were not done by the end of the inspection. And then there was a lot of lag in terms of Victoria responding to queries from Megan about, so how are we doing? And so it was just a mess regarding communications, I think.
Speaking of communications, I'm really grateful to Noreen and Arlene for carrying the ball on this, but I'm really surprised that I didn't hear from Victoria. I mean, why didn't she send an email to the Board of Health email?
Good question.
That would seem to me like the obvious thing. That's what most people do. I don't know what happened there. Does she not realize that it's the Board of Health?
I don't know.
Well, anyway, I was just as glad because two eager and willing volunteers took that up, and I was really grateful for that. So there's been that. I have been in contact with Claudia about 56 Wendell Road. I think I told you last time that I sent a letter by U.S. mail to Greg and Kathy Steve, referencing on the back. I printed on the back of the letter it was either the order or agreement, whatever Claudia generated after we had that site visit in March, which said it was going to be done in 2 months. And I basically threatened him with receivership if something didn't happen, and I haven't heard a single word, and I haven't seen a single indication that anything has happened there. So I've talked with Claudia about it, and Claudia said, well, she was going to be seeing Donna McNichol at court, I guess, last Friday, and I will read you her report on this. She said, I just wanted to let you know that I spoke with Donna McNichol on Friday about this property, and I'll get what files I have to her. I'll send her the letter that I sent also. This will start as a first-tier court event, mediation, because the housing court insists that all new cases begin with this process. Between the board and myself, we can work on a court-ordered timeline for either demolition or rehab of the property. If the property owner does not adhere to the agreement, then we can proceed with a hearing after that and talk about receivership. And she even has a suggestion of someone who could possibly be appointed. She goes on, please advise on how you wish me to proceed so that we can get the process started. It would also be helpful if a Board of Health representative could be in housing court when this case is presented for mediation, so that you can specify the conditions and what we expect to see happen within the given time frame. I don't want to hand this over to Donna until the board discusses this and gives the go-ahead before the town starts the meter running on Donna's time. So, yeah, go ahead. Somebody was about to speak, I thought.
No, I just said,
Oh, very profound. So are we all in agreement that court is the next thing we need to do? It's our discussion on this.
My only discussion is, I don't know exactly, but it seems like we've been in discussions with these folks for almost 2 years or over 2 years. It's been a long time.
It's been a very long time.
We've been very patient.
Yeah, we've been patient and basically nothing at all has happened. I understand that there have been many obstacles in this process, but I kind of feel like we're being played here. That no matter what we say, Greg said, yes, I'm working on that. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And then
nothing happens. Yeah.
Well, what do you need? Do you need a motion from us, Kat?
Yeah, I guess that would be good.
Well, I'll make an attempt at one. I move, is it 156 Wendell Road?
56 Wendell Road.
56. I move that we refer all of the materials and information that we have gathered regarding 56 Wendell Road to Claudia and to Donna McNichol for further review or consideration by the courts.
Okay.
Second.
All right, a discussion.
I think the only other thing that I wonder about is if with this property, there have been other concerns for the town. So I'm thinking about property tax, so is it just a Board of Health thing, or is it more than that? And that it's that the receivership portion isn't just about the condition of the property, but it's also about, are they current with other requirements of the property?
That I don't know. I suppose that we can ask those questions, or they might be asked in preparation for going to court. But yeah, that's a good point. I think it's mainly the Board of Health.
Right, that would be my thought, that those other questions really aren't within the purview of the Board of Health. Doesn't mean they shouldn't be raised or that others might be interested in them, but perhaps Donna can help the town with all of those questions.
Yep, correct.
Right. As far as, well, there's the Board of Health, and there's basically, it's also basically a safety issue. So I suppose that it affects basically the fire department.
Who issued the conditions with which they had to comply, such as the fencing off of that area, the security of the building, that is.
Right.
We did not give an order of conditions of those conditions, right?
Well, I think that, I mean, Charlie was on the case then, and I think that he and Claudia, they issued condemnation order. They ordered that the property be secured, both by an exterior fence, which they already had an exterior fence, so I mean, that wasn't a problem. The big thing was, making the doors and windows secure so that no one could get in.
So since it came from Charlie Kinnicky, then it really was a Board of Health mandate. Okay,
It was, just we
Right.
didn't personally do it. so
right.
Not that,
Okay.
not that present in our minds. So yeah, I mean, he did those things, although, under duress and imperfectly, but he has not really made any progress as far as I can tell on the main, the demolition itself. Other discussion on this motion?
I don't think there was a second, Kat.
I thought there was, I thought Arlene seconded.
I
you.
seconded it.
Okay, thank you. I didn't remember that.
I don't know of any other recourse we have. I think we've
Okay.
tried what we could imagine might be a less formal way of approaching this with him, and there's really been no progress.
Not at all. So we
And
have.
very often no response.
That's true. That is true. So we have on the table a motion to provide documentation to Claudia and Donna with the aim of bringing this matter to court. Have I got that right?
Correct.
Okay.
And I think as part of that, we also extended invitation to participate in meetings with the board. And that, that there wasn't that level of direct participation by the homeowner or the
Right.
property owner.
Mhm.
Okay. Any more to say on this motion before we vote? All right. Let us vote. Arlene,
Yes.
Wim,
Yes.
Noreen,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes,
Kat, yes. All right, so be it. I will make sure that Claudia has all the documentation, and I will direct her to move forward with this. One thing that surprised me a little bit was this idea that a Board of Health person should be present at the hearing, or whatever the first thing would be. I thought that's what we had Claudia for.
Right.
Well,
I
I
agree.
don't know. What if the judge, I don't know what happens in these cases. Maybe Donna could let us know, but what if the judge wants verification from a Board of Health member that this in fact is the action the board took? That's all I can think that, might possibly happen.
What, let me see again what Claudia said. She said, it would be helpful if a Board of Health representative could be in housing court when this case is presented for mediation, so that you can specify the conditions and what we expect to see happen within the given time frame.
my read of what she's saying there is different than the historical perspective, but it's about our expectations moving forward through the mediation and
Right.
But again, isn't that Claudia's role as an inspector?
I think so. And as our agent, I mean, she's
You're right.
authorized to act for us it also seems to me that she knows better than we do what the
Since-
timeline is and what needs to be done.
in her role as an inspector, she knows the conditions that must be met
Mhm.
for health and safety. I guess I don't know that we're talking about housing code here, but
Right, because
Um,
basically, I mean, what we're
it's
talking about
in-
here is a demolition and what we
Right.
want. I mean, I don't see it having any particular timeline. Just knock it down,
right,
you know, do it now.
right,
So it's not like we say, well, we want this done by this date and this done by another date. That's not something that we can even
right.
imagine.
So we know, Kat, you and I, Kat and I accompanied Claudia to this inspection with Greg Steve present in March. And he's got all these plans for somehow rescuing the first floor of the first story of that building.
He
He
has
wants to
men-
take it down to the ceiling of the first. What's that, Kat?
I was gonna say, I know that he wants to.
What did you say, Kat?
I'm telling you now. I know that he wants to maintain the front wall, and I think he wants to save that
Right.
fireplace. But I don't know that he wants
Right.
to save anything more than that.
Oh, well, then he was talking building a wing out from that and making it a one-story dwelling.
Mhm.
So he's hoping to not demolish the entire building. And
It's not clear to me exactly what he's hoping to save, though.
I know,
And
But I
maybe not
think-
clear to him.
but whatever his hopes are and however unclear they may be, that may be one of the things that's got him stymied, but at the very least to get that top story demolished.
Right, that would be a
And I
big,
don't know whether they're able to say, listen, does this whole first story need to be demolished? Is it so unsound at this point that there's nothing salvageable here? I can't reach a conclusion about that. I would imagine there's been enough deterioration to all components that maybe nothing salvageable, but I don't know that. I'm not an inspector. So
Right,
not knowing
right.
that, I'm not sure that any of us or that we as a board are in a position to determine the conditions that we expect to be at. Do you know if he says, I really want to save this wall and that fireplace, and is any of it sound? I don't know.
Right, and that would be either up to Claudia or possibly up to the building inspector.
Right.
I'm not sure how that is determined even. But, I mean, it does seem possible that one of us could possibly accompany Claudia and just be there. Even though I don't think we have any particular role here. I mean, she's meant to be acting on our behalf. But I'll talk with her about this. And meanwhile, I'll instruct her to go ahead and communicate with Donna and start getting this on the rails.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else on that? As far as I can remember, that was pretty much my main thing. We've talked about Morristown, we've talked about 56 Wendell Road, we did the minutes. I'm sure you all know that the library groundbreaking is on August 2nd. And Marianne has asked for the use of our tents.
Mhm.
And I said, of course, we always share our tents with everybody.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure exactly what the requirements are for setting it up and who's going to be needed and stuff. And I'll let you know what I find out. it strikes me that we won't have a meeting between now and then, will we? Because this is
That's
July
right,
17th, and our next meeting will be August 7th.
7th. Okay. Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
You're right.
If there's a need for help to get the tents there or whatever, I'm happy to do that.
So am I.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think-
Schedule permitting in August. We'll see.
Right. Right. I think Mary Ann has a key to the shed. I think she got the spare, so, so we're, you know, she can mastermind that, but I'll tell her that some of us may be available to help with the setup. I would assume the groundbreaking is
Yeah,
happening.
I'm not,
Go ahead.
okay. I am not available. I don't think my sister and her husband are coming to stay with us for a few days, starting July 30th
Mhm.
and going through the 2nd, so I'm not as available, sorry.
Okay, it doesn't, it's not gonna take all of it.
Okay,
I'm not sure what the setup is gonna be. It seems to me that, it would not be smart to set the tents up the night before and leave them unattended out there in the field. So it's probably gonna be something that will have to take place on that morning. Just FYI. So I think that's all we got.
Kat,
Yes,
can I
ma'am.
just ask Garrett, I didn't go to the last collaborative meeting, so I was hoping maybe he'd take a minute and update us on what's going on. We were contemplating finalizing the work plan for the upcoming year and the associated budget. But the other thing I'd like to say is, and I may or may not be biased, I hope I'm not, but in my view, the collaborative has really been working and they've been excellent. You know, when I was interfacing with Megan with regard to permitting the camp, she was back to me within half an hour of my texting her with very good advice. And also, I think from what I saw, she provided lots of good counseling and resources to Victoria while she was trying to get all the documents together that needed to be. So I just want to mention that I couldn't be happier with the response that we get or I've gotten when I've interfaced with them.
mhm.
Yeah, Megan's been great throughout this. Garrett, do you have anything you want to
You're
add?
muted, Garrett.
Megan and also Sarah.
Yeah.
I've been very impressed with Sarah Fisk and the work she's been doing. So on the budget and the work plan, the short answer is that the state pushed both of those back and said, we need you to make a few adjustments. Minor things, just in terms of a little bit more detail in the work plan and more specification in the budget. But other than that, things were good. So
nothing else. How are we coming with hiring inspectors for the collaborative? Because that
yeah, so the hiring part, I think that they had a couple of applicants, maybe not as strong as they were hoping for. So there was a gentleman who works in Greenfield in Megan's office who sort of jumped onto the call. I don't remember what his name was, an inspector for Greenfield. And and I think he had been in Agawam as an inspector and they brought him into Greenfield. And, he was saying from his perspective that, for a lot of these roles, what's going to end up happening is that you're going to steal someone from somewhere else, that there's not a lot of new qualified applicants.
yeah. Okay, thanks.
By the way, one of the things I had to communicate with Megan about is Noreen reminded me to find a certificate of doing that foundations course and get it to Megan, and I wondered where we all are on that. Has everybody done the foundations course online? Has anybody done the foundations course online? Arlene had.
So I did it. Deadline approach, they said, you have to download your thing because it's going to disappear. Well, you remember all those urgent emails? You probably all got the same ones that I did.
Mhm.
And I did that. But when I went to get my credits, I communicated this with, I'm sorry, is it Megan we were communicating with about this?
Yes,
It said I hadn't done it, or it said I had only done the first unit or something like that. So something got lost, but I had done the whole damn 35 hours or whatever it was. But the certification, she didn't seem worried about it. I don't think she even got back to me about it, but anyway, something got really messed up for me in terms of the record of it.
So you used the old platform, whatever that was.
I used the old platform. Now I'm hesitating because this is a while ago that I communicated with her. But probably what happened, I used the old platform, but I swore that I downloaded the certificate. And then when I went to communicate with her, it was like nothing could be found. This is the first I've thought of it since that communication. So I will go back and explore and see what I can find.
Okay.
I thought you had communicated that you had found it, Arlene, and you'd been able to forward it, but I guess that was not accurate.
I'll go back to my communication with
Okay.
Megan and see where it was
Okay.
left. Sorry
Okay,
to
great.
be so unclear.
And I will make a commitment to do my best this winter to get to it.
If I
Yeah.
have to, I'll do the whole thing over again.
No.
Ah!
Oh,
They say it takes 35 hours, but in fact, I found that you could do all of them in about 20 minutes each.
oh, good.
Wasn't that onerous?
And maybe the second time around, I could
You
cut that back even further.
yeah. Is there, Maureen, is there a number of us that are required to do it? How does this work? I
No,
remember.
I think that it's one of the items in our work plan, I believe. Garrett, back me up on this. I think that's what it is, and that they're just trying to demonstrate each year that, we have an increasing number of people who are doing it. So
Okay.
I don't think there's any great rush by anyone in other towns that I know of, but I could be wrong. So I think we have 2 this year. If 1 or 2 of us do it next year, we're demonstrating that we're, moving toward 100% compliance with that.
I should ace it the second time around. Boy.
You're an expert now.
Maybe you can tutor me, Arlene.
Right.
I remember when we had to have some ICS trainings that there was a specific requirement. You're supposed to have 80% of all the various departments who had to have it. So that meant 4 out of the 5 of us had to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's in our work plan, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's not crucial. Just tell us
No.
what to do. We'll do it.
Okay, thank you.
Or not,
Oh, just one other question while Garrett's on the line. I understand the emergency management team met last week, Garrett.
And I wasn't available for that one.
Okay, I didn't get a notice, so I guess I should let the chief know.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't get a notice on that.
I know, I am too. So I'll let him know.
We get the notice at the Board of Health email. If I realized that you weren't getting them, Noreen, I would have forwarded it to you.
Yeah, I always got them in the past, and then we hadn't had a meeting for a long time, 18 months, 2 years, long time.
Right.
So I'm glad to hear they're meeting again. I think it's a good thing for the town, for everybody to get together.
I think that the person to ask to put you back on the email list would be Leslie Bracebridge.
Oh, really? Okay, okay,
Isn't she doing the minutes, Garrett?
Yeah, she does.
okay.
Mhm.
Oh,
And
let's, okay, yeah, fine.
so
She always did.
presumably
Yeah,
she
yeah.
does the meeting notifications as well,
Okay, I'll get to Leslie then. Thank you.
right?
But that's all. I'll stop asking questions or bringing things up.
Anybody else have anything to contribute? Well, then I think we should adjourn. And we'll see you all on August 7th, if not on August 2nd, and I'll let you know what's going on with the tents.
I can tell you right now, I won't be here on the 7th.
You won't be here on the 7th.
Correct.
Okay, okay. Arlene, will you be here for that meeting?
I will be.
Was that you will, you won't?
I will be, yes.
Great. All right. So presumably we'll be able to have a quorum.
Mhm.
Okay, and if not, it doesn't seem like there's a lot going on these days, so if we have to miss another meeting, it won't be crucial, I hope.
Okay.
All right, my dears, thank you so much. Let's adjourn.
Thank you.
Oh, and thanks for the
Yes.
nice mosquito report. I forgot. I meant to
Yep.
say that was very well done.
All right. Yes.
Oh, good, thanks. Yeah. Yeah, we get these nice big reports from John, but they're kind of too big to just turn over to the public. They're just really bulky. But if you would like me to send them on to you, I could do that. To you all, I could forward them to you. Like weekly reports. Don't all leave it
I
once.
think I get. I also get some extensive reports, I think, because I'm on the list of arbovirus contacts. So
Yeah.
Oh, great.
I don't need
But-
anything further.
Mhm.
I get them too, and I don't know why. And then don't our numbers get rolled into all the state numbers, Kat? I would think they would.
Well, they do, but also we get kind of specific town numbers from John
Okay.
Grigg. I think he found something like 7 or 13 of one of the particular species he was concerned about. But it was a pretty low number.
Okay, and none are positive, I take it for. Good.
No. No, it's all good. Okay, you guys, see you soon.
Thank
Okay.
you, Kat.
Thank you.
Happy trails. Thank you.
Yes.
Good night.
Thanks, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.